What can you remember about life in the camps? What it was like for you as a young boy? At first, did you play with the other boys in the streets? Did life change very much for you? Did you understand what was going on?
Yes, life did change a lot in reality because all of a sudden there was no paternal hand any longer to help in managing the families. You were now all of a sudden a one-parent family in a camp with several thousand other women in the same position, most of them with children.
The house that you were living in, when you moved into this camp, you shared a big traditional sort of Dutch home with a number of other women and children?
With about 50 or 60 other people, yeah. Yeah.
Everybody was assigned their own room, and
every family was assigned a room in the beginning, and that got changed as things became more crowded.
In the beginning, I imagine there was enough food. The Japanese supplied food for you. There was stuff grown in the camps. But I understand the situation as far as food is concerned got progressively worse throughout the war. Is that right?
Oh yes, definitely. Your grandmother died of hunger. That's basically what she died of. So did many other people. I remember that the effort was made to gather additional food, and I remember the rats that were being trapped and actually eaten, and I remember the pot of boiling water was a half a dozen backyard slugs floating in them, and Mom's complained that no matter how long she cooked them, that they were still tasting like rubber. Yeah, I can still go sick thinking about it.
Can you remember? I guess you probably can remember. There's so many people that did die losing friends your own age.
Yes, there was one boy I used to play with who died, and I can't even think of his name. Wimpy. But he was gone all of a sudden, and I was told that yes, he was dead. Yeah, the strain the adults must have been under is awfully hard to imagine. When you think back about your grandmother dying at 36, leaving me as a just turned 7, because it was a day after my 7th birthday, leaving me behind and not knowing whether the war would end, whether I would survive. It must have been a very unpleasant way of packing it in.
I think you have to ring we have to ring this bell, and then they'll come and.
Terima kasih banyak.
Right.
Terima kasih.
Or it looks a bit like Flanders Fields with all these white crosses. How does this numbering system works? I can't quite make sense of it.
Sorry, I don't.
Do you know the number? It's
Yes.
civilian.
Yes. Looking books. What is your name?
10 Kate.
10 KT.
10 KT. Gitu langsung ke saya teh. Dah opat mah
Dari C ya.
Oh, no. For
Forehead.
mana itu? Iya nya.
476.
Yeah.
476. Here.
6.
No.
476.
Yes.
Terima kasih banyak, Tuan.
Ya. Ya, ya.
Here. Here.
Terima kasih.
Ya. Dengan Mas Kopra.
Here.
Terima kasih banyak, Tuan. Yeah, Yonkie. Meet your grandmom. 37-year-old Terry.
Weer de bloemen neerleggen.
Nee, doe jij dat maar.
Look at that, when I see a grave like that as well. Plus or minus 6 years old, 3rd of the 12th, 44, that's as old as you would have been.
Those are the kids that didn't make it. That's what it is. Sterkenburg. Went to school with me. I'm sure it's his brother. It's a nice graveyard, though.
Yeah.
Well, I guess if she had to lie somewhere, she'd be just as happy to lie here as anywhere else.
For my father's mother, the war ended in this graveyard. But for my father, there was to be another camp, this one in Batavia, present-day Jakarta. The train journey there was a nightmare, and conditions in the new camp, even worse than Bandung, would kill many more. My father survived in the care of another woman until Allied troops liberated the camps. My grandfather also survived, although barely, and was reunited with my father at the end of the war. They left the Dutch East Indies and arrived in Holland in January of 1946. My grandfather would never return to Indonesia, and it took half a century for my father to return to the country of his birth. For all of the terrible memories, he's still glad he did.
It's there's a lot of sentiment involved. There was a lot of cruelty during the war, the Japanese cruelty in the camps, the scenes witnessed as a youngster, things that as an adult today you see how in the hell is it possible? But yeah, I'm pleased we've seen it, and I'm pleased we've walked through the camps. I'm happy to have seen it as it is today. Your grandmother was only 4 years older than you are today when she died. And 20 years younger than I will be in a month. So, yeah, you can philosophize all you want. Hope it'll never happen again. The facts of life are that it is happening again, and it will happen again, and I hope that there will be a day that mankind will wake up to the fact that we're stupid and dumb. But there will also always be cruelty. There will always be someone who wants something that someone else has. So there's the makings of the next war, I suppose.
That documentary was prepared by CBC radio producer Harry Tencake.